Thank you, Ellendale. I love that song. And yes, we are the daughters and sons of the infinite. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. But first, I'm going to share with you a demonstration, and I'm not going to do the sharing. Practitioner Karen Meyer is going to come up and do the sharing, and she's sharing about her prayer partner, Amy Greenroyd, who had this demonstration. So, Karen.
So you all remember Amy. She and I recently became practitioners together. And about a year ago, we became prayer partners. So we've been on a schedule of about 3 times a week doing a prayer call together. While she was here over Christmas time, she was gone. She was, here for about 2 weeks away from home. We didn't do our prayer calls during that time, but she got back to Michigan, and we had our first prayer call. And and she said to me, "Okay, I need a prayer treatment for a lost item." Okay, do you want me to tell you what that item is? Well, yeah, it would help. I would like to know, but if you don't want to tell me, I mean, she seemed like she was being a little secretive about it. And so she told me what it was. It was their laptop. It was their Mac Air. She said, when I tell people what this is, they tell me I'll never find it. It's gone. So apparently, before leaving Detroit for Los Angeles, 2 weeks prior, they had, in all the commotion of taking care of the baby and going through the security and all of that, they had left the thing there at the airport. And so when they got here, she went on the website for the airport and logged, just registered with them this lost item. And so giving them her email and all of that. So while she was here during those 2 weeks, she was doing prayer treatments herself about it, doing affirmative affirmations for herself that she was going to, that this was not lost, that it was going to be back in their hands. But so here it was 2 weeks later, she hadn't heard anything from them. And so she's asking me for a prayer. So of course I knew, really truly knew instantly that it was going to be found, that it was not lost, that there are far more people in the world who do the right thing and return these kinds of things to their rightful owners than not. So we did that prayer treatment, and then 2 weeks later, so now it's been gone for a month. She's saying to me, "I've never heard from them. The airport has not contacted me. I haven't heard from them." And we agreed that she should go to the airport. She needs to treat and take action on her feet. So, and it's Detroit. She's got a baby. It's a trip. It's a schlep. She's got to go through the snow and the ice and the rain and it's a deal. But we agree by the end of the call that she has to actually do that. So I go about my day. It's the middle of the day, and I get a call from Amy. This is not our appointed time. She doesn't call me in the afternoon. She says, "I am leaving the Detroit airport with my laptop." It was there. It was there all along. It was a perfect demonstration.
It was. And demonstration just means the result of prayer that's provable, since we believe that prayer is scientific and repeatable. And the other thing that Amy said in her letter, well, the students of Prosperity Plus are going to love this. She said, every time she'd think about that laptop, she'd say, "I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my laptop back. I'm so happy and grateful to be working on my laptop." And, there's an action that goes with that. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm working on my laptop, she would say. So that she was building an awareness where two or more gathered in my name, there I am. So obviously having the extra support of her prayer partner, knowing the same thing for her that she's been knowing for now a month, was the key. it's so important to recognize that we're dealing with an intelligent stuff, a thinking stuff. So, individual expressions of an infinite creator. Next slide, please, Mary. So, this one manifests itself in and through all creation, is not absorbed by its creation. That comes from our declaration of principles. And that's a pretty important thing because if you think of anything on the relative plane, if you're making something out of something on the relative plane, it's eventually going to be used up. This thing itself that's everywhere present cannot be used up. Inexhaustible. Inexhaustible. There's more good for you and there's more good for your neighbor. Your, your good is not going to steal from anybody. Your financial prosperity isn't going to steal from anybody. Your health is not going to steal from anybody. There's more for everyone through this one life and through intelligently working with the way it works. So, so we see the creation, and we like to remember that this is the universe, and within the universe, the entire universe is impregnated with this intelligence. There's not a spot that it's missing or absent, it's everywhere present. Next slide, please. So, the sons and daughters of light. I like that, especially the ballerina, since our Reverend Karen is a dancer. Next slide, please. So, this comes from a quote from Ernest Holmes, and the longer quote wouldn't fit on there. So, it is in the science of mind, we learn that persistent constructive thought is the greatest power known and most effective. If the visible effect in our lives is not what it should be, if we are unhappy, sick, and poverty stricken, we know the remedy. The truth is always this remedy. And the truth is that the law of liberty is the only real law. When we reverse the process of thought, the effect will be reversed. So here we are. If we have a missing something, the first thing to remember is that there's nothing missing in the universe, that the universe is a wholeness. And that thing that we're searching for that is ours must return to us. So we claim it as ours. It was her laptop. And there are good people. And they don't give away all their stuff after 30 days. So in our lives, is there a place in your life that you're seeing lack, confusion, um, anything that is unlike the universal mind? And if so, the simple thing to do, very simple thing to do, is to speak the truth, think the truth, get a picture of what you do want. Get that picture in your mind so firmly that this is my life. This good is my life now. As you know, I had a birthday last week. Um, I'm no longer counting the numbers. It's a lovely number though, and it was wonderful. One of the gifts I received was a wine glass with gold. Thank you, Diane Hennessy, and it says "Queen of Everything." I really like that because I am queen of everything, and so are you, or king if you prefer. You have dominion, or queen if you prefer. Wade, you can have whichever one you want. I saw you. So you're having dominion doesn't mean that we're in charge of. It doesn't mean what we've thought traditionally it means, that we can use all the resources. It means that we have dominion over our thinking, that we can choose a new way to perceive things. We can look at it a new way. We can have a new experience of our life, right where we are, how we are. Next slide, please. So, how do you, I like this. How do you see yourself? So he looks in the mirror and he sees a handsome young guy. How good is that? I think it's, yeah, it's perfect, right? Because that is how that handsome young guy continues to be such a handsome young guy that you see on the other side of the mirror. Could I have the next slide, please? So, are you thinking about what you do want and thinking from a place not of wishing or hoping, because that's counterproductive, but thinking from a place of what you do want as if you already have that thing, as if it is already yours? In one of the prosperity classes, we're reading the Genevieve Barron or Genevieve Barron, however you want to say her name, and she talks about studying Thomas Troward and how clear she got in the study that must you must know that you are impregnating and the your mind thinks in pictures. So you need to implant pictures into that mind in order to manifest or demonstrate your desired good. And if you have fuzzy ideas, you'll get fuzzy demonstrations. If you have general ideas, you'll get general demonstrations. Yes, God is everywhere present. And if you're aware of that, yes, they'll be good. But if you, in the Tuesday night class, her friend, forgotten her name, help, Mary's friend that also, Karen Joyce. Karen Joyce, thank you, Mary, gives tells a story about how she was participating in this sales contest. And she was pretty good. And she really wanted to be number one. She wanted to be first. But when asked, how do you want to do in this? She said, I'd like to come in the top three. She didn't say what she really wanted. Now, the universe has perfect hearing. And so everything was reorganized so that her area of the country, she did come in number three. She didn't want number three or number two. She wanted number one, but she didn't say it. So, what's on your heart or mind? Make sure that you get specific and announce to the universe your intention. Announce being the queen or king of everything in your life. Make a bold statement. Next slide, please. So, the energy of spirit cannot be exhausted. That if there's not really a picture, the ocean is the best that I have. Next slide, please. Of this fountainhead of life. That when you go to the fountainhead to drink, there's still going to be more. It's never going to be less. Always more. Next slide, please. So man walks back and forth, enslaved by the shadows of the walls he has erected between himself and reality. Now, notice what she's saying, what Ernest Holmes is saying here, the shadows of the walls. So, in other words, we think that there are real walls, real obstacles that's stopping us from moving into our highest good, and yet those are just shadows, and we've created them. We've created them by letting them come into our consciousness. Next slide, please. Okay, so this slide is of a person with a dream, you going down this path, and you see all of the things on the path that could pull you off of the path: relatives, guilt, fear, and your goal is at the end. But and then hmm, society, pessimists, and even friends all can pull you off what course you set, what course you set, and it is your life, and it's a really great life. Next slide, please. So you know that there, when I looked for pictures of when young elephants are trained, the first rope that's around their little legs is a small rope. Easily, that elephant probably when they're a baby they can't pull it, but that rope stays the same, and the elephant gets huge. It's a stake that this big, 8 inches long, easily that elephant could pull that stake out of the ground, but he doesn't know it because when he tried it when he was a baby, he couldn't pull it out. So, what's holding you back? What did you learn about yourself long ago that's not the truth, has never been the truth? Somebody else has had an opinion, expressed it, or maybe it wasn't even anyone else. Maybe it was you had an opinion and you expressed it, and it's now become a stake holding you in a place that you no longer want to be. Isn't this a great time to make a change, make a choice? I've told you this story before, but it's well worth repeating. There's an author who is very famous now, but at the time of this story, which was in the 60s, he was given maybe a year to live. He had a very rapid, severe kind of cancer. And he thought, what am I going to do? My wife, whom I adore, is going to be left without any source of income. So he decided to write novels. And in that year, he wrote 5 novels. Now, that's more than most authors ever write, 5 in 1 year. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. What happened was, first of all, he was in remission, and then the cancer was completely gone. Why? He was living his life's purpose. He was living his dream. His name is Anthony Burgess. He was the author of A Clockwork Orange. So obviously, his his wife was well supported the from the sale of his books, from those royalties, but also from the movie. It's so sometimes what we need is a little bit of encouragement from the universe in the way of a problem to really get clear about what we really want and what we can do. What's your talent and why aren't you sharing it? There are authors in here, there are writers, songwriters in here, there are musicians in here, there are dancers in here, there are business people in here that haven't yet begin to tap the greatness that they are. This is the day. This is the day. Next slide, please, Mary. So we are expressions of the Creator. We're here to express. We're in the express business. We're in the express business. We're here to give of our gifts, our talents. Next slide, please. So this one also is much longer than what I could get on there. People must realize that no matter how infinite the infinite may be, it can only become to them what can become through them. We must look at ourselves with our own eyes. If we could open up, clean house mentally, and get out of ourselves everything that ails us, I don't care what the poverty is or the misery is, everything would be allowed because the infinite cannot refuse anything. I repeat that. I don't care what the poverty is or the misery is, everything would be allowed because the infinite cannot refuse anything. So, in other words, the infinite says yes. That's what it does. It says yes. Yes, my beloved. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you can. And if you say, I'm feeling sick and tired, yes, my beloved. Yes, my beloved. It doesn't distinguish what's good for you and what may not be so good. I'm a great actor. Yes, my beloved. I'm a wonderful singer. Yes, my beloved. I may not be able to get everything done today. Yes, my beloved. See, it's always saying yes. Be careful what you're thinking, what you're saying. And no matter what age you are, what disappointments you may have, never, never, never give up. You know, there's a true story about the California gold rush, and all Californians probably know this. You might have even been panning up there, Reverend Judy, in the day. But the, it was a story. She did, right? It was a story about a couple of brothers had filed a claim. They'd found gold. They filed a claim, and the gold ran out. that it just seemed to the vein just seemed to vanish. And they picked away, they couldn't find anything. So in discouragement, they released their claim, they sold all of their stuff, and someone picked up their claim. And he hired a geologist who said, just keep digging right there, 3 feet from where they stopped. There was a huge vein of gold that was multi-million dollars. Multi-million dollars. So are you quitting too soon? Are you quitting too soon? Is your good just a little bit more, a little bit further up the road? Never, never, never give up. So, besides the wonderful cup, I want to acknowledge a beautiful letter I got, personal letter to me, that when I read it, I cried. When I read it to my prayer partner, she cried. It's um, it's exactly the thing a minister wants to hear with all her heart, written by wonderful Vidette Vanderwhite, acknowledging how my ministry has touched her and blessed her. And so that was the and this may be the last time. Are you really moving Tuesday? So this may be the last time that she and her children are here. And she has blessed our center so much. She helped with the marketing team a great deal. I would like you to just give him. Do you want to say something? Come on. We're so blessed to have you. So, so Vidette has used the principle. She is a spiritual teacher, a coach, a mentor, an intuitive, and she's doing good work in the world, and she'll do good work in Austin. And we'll miss you, and we love you. So, do you want to say anything? I just put you on the spot. You can.
Yeah, am moving to Austin this coming week, and I wanted to honor the place that I think has brought me so far in my life. It's been almost 6 years. It seems crazy to me that I've been a member here and have taken classes and um, have really embodied the principles that I have learned here in classes. I'm just going to keep saying in classes. Sitting here wouldn't have done nearly, although it's amazing, done the work that I needed to do on myself had I not gone to classes and committed to that for years. And most of those classes were with Dr. Heather. And I felt that I needed to honor the fact that my life has changed so drastically because of this place. And it's put me on my purposeful path. It's put me in a place where I'm passionate about life. And even in the most challenging of times, which I'm living right now, um, I've never been happier. And that's because of embodying the principles that we learn here. So thank you to Miss Patty, all the staff, everybody. I just it's very hard for me to leave this community. I will say that. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Next slide, please. I'm pretty sure we're okay. So say yes to life right now. This is the time. Say yes to your ongoing spiritual education. Yes, yes, yes. Trust that the beauty that you are has gifts to give and that you are enough, sufficient in all ways. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Diane's going to establish a consciousness with a song, and then I'm going to pray. And hold those dreams in your heart that have come to you in this time.
Breathe on me, Spirit, breathe Hear the cry of my heart now, Spirit. Breathe on me. Breathe through me. Spirit, breathe through me. Hear the call of my heart now. Spirit, breathe through me. Breathe as me, Spirit. Breathe as me. Hear the joy in my heart now, Spirit. Breathe as me.
And so then breathing, knowing that Spirit is breathing you, allow that breath of God simply to be flowing through you. And stay in a relaxed consciousness, no need for any kind of tension. Any words that I say, and I'll say them in the first person, that you agree with, just take them for yourself. If you disagree, let them just wash on by you. This is what I know is true. I know that there is only one life, and that life is God's life. It's whole, it's complete, it's perfect. It is the infinite one power of love. And that power that is everywhere present is the power of creativity, the power of life itself. It is the vitality in the seed that we see in nature. And it's the vitality in our thoughts, our words, our visions in metaphysics. And so, what I know is that I more clearly embrace the wholeness that I am. I especially embrace my uniqueness, my individuality, the individualized expression that I am of the divine. I cherish every single quirk, everything about me, for everything that I am is God's expression of me. I appreciate that dream that fills my heart, and I say yes to it. I appreciate with gratitude all of the people who have come into my life to bless me with their presence, with their communication, with their love for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. I know that each one is another jewel on my crown, and I am the queen of everything. I am the ruler of my own life. And I know that this is so delightful that every aspect of my life thrills to hear my confidence, my joy, that my body is vital, whole, complete, ageless, timeless being, filled with energy and strength and flexibility and aliveness, that the love connection is strong, for I am open and my heart is undefended, and I love in a greater way than ever before. I give love, and I'm open to receiving love. Furthermore, I know that I am the multiplier of good, and that good is in every area of my life, that financial good flows into my life in great, wonderful ways, exciting ways, new ways, and old ways. But there is no limit to the spirit that is the source of all. And that creative expression in me takes even greater, higher forms, giving of itself through my words, through my talents, through my deeds. I am sufficient, for my cup is overflowing. There is good and only good, and I give great thanks for any of the obstacles in my life. I give thanks for them and use them as stepping stones. For any of the obstacles, any of the diagnosis that fill me with fear, I give thanks. It allows me to focus on the good that I do want. So, what I know is that this is a wonderful world. It's a beautiful life. It's my life now. With my heart filled with gratitude, I simply place this word in the action and activity of law. It is complete. And please join me in tying this together by saying with me, and so it is.